am back with another Thumbnail Thursday, and I'm also playing along with Baby Got Scraps. And today I decided to do a 8.5 by 11 page, and it is all scraps. I don't even have an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I pulled this cardstock from my travel kit that I have that has been highly neglected this year. I have two photos of the folks that came and watched my daughter's little kindergarten program. And then I pulled out some scraps. I've got two scraps left over from the Old School collection by Heidi Swapp. I have two scraps right here from a really old collection from Close to My Heart. I think it was called Magical, and this was their first release. They just released it again last year, or 2019, I can't remember, but this was their very first release of that paper. I know because I don't think I got the second release. Then I have these lost and found little leftovers that I kind of wanted to use up. So this layout's going to be very plain, very simple, and I might have a title on it. I'm not sure. And then I have this piece of paper. It's really super thin copy paper that I received. It was like a paper stack where it was a huge image on one side and then this color on the other side. I brought this black out of my cardstock scraps as well for matting my photos. And that is it. I'm going to try to combine these two pieces right here to make an 8.5 by 11 layout. Maybe put this right there just to add a little bit of color other than, you know, hey, it's a black and white and blue layout. So that is what I have going on. I might have to trim my photos just a little bit more, but that's okay. I think so. Yeah. So let's see what I can do.
All right, let's put these pieces together to make our 8.5 by 11 piece of base page. So the first thing that I do is I glue the star paper because it is exactly 11 inches tall. How convenient is that? I didn't know that it was until I cut my cardstock down. Yay! And then I forgot that this blue piece is a little bit wider than my cardstock, and so I glued the wrong section, so I have to remove that glue for just a minute, but it's boring. I don't make you guys watch it. And now I am trimming down that little notch to make it 8.5 by 11. Then I add this little strip, and it is just the zip strip off of the top of a piece of paper that I had. I don't remember which one it was, but I just love this print. It was my favorite print in this whole collection, and I think I've used it all up. I'm so sad. So my original idea was to have a bunch of banners hanging from the top of the page and going down, but when I put my photos down on the layout, I'm not feeling it. I don't really like it. And now all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay. And every time that I'm kind of not feeling something, I move on to something else that I had in my brain to do. And so I'm going to do the title next, which is, it's kind of more of a subtitle since this is an insert in between the start of the concert and then my favorite part of the concert. So it's a little kindergarten program concert, but I'm making a big deal of it. It was my actually I have all of my kids' kindergarten programs scrapbooked. I just realized that. Anyways, squirrel. So I am doing in the audience because this is like a rare time to see my parents as well as, so they're the grandparents of my little girl, as well as her dad and her stepmom and her new baby brother. So it was just, we don't get together very often. And when we do, I think the next time that we get together is her graduation when she turns 18. So it's a rare event that I get to take pictures and have those pictures in her scrapbook. It's not like they send me pictures going, hey, put these in Cora's scrapbook. So it's okay. I will scrapbook her dad. It's her dad. Why not? Right? So the blue section needed something, and at first I was going to do like this ray or these bent lines. That's what I was going to do, and then I thought, I don't know if I'm good enough for that. So I went to something that I knew I was good at, which are these like Harlequin, I think they're called Harlequin little diamonds. I'm not really sure. Is Harlequin when they have the lines in them, or is that when it turns into as caught? And I have no idea, you guys. They're diamonds. That's all I know. And I love how they're all different shapes. They're not all uniform. So they go really big and then they peter off into really small ones and then they go really big again and then they go, really small again. And so I really, really like that. But I do have some glitter from there. It's Nuvo glitter and stickles that I blended together. I had a little bit of it in my Use It Up journal. So it's just a journal that I picked up from gosh knows where, and I'm grabbing the little pieces and just using up the rest of the stuff. Eventually, when I kind of get bored, I will like turn it into, what is that called when they have like a media book? Anyways, I have no idea. So I went into my brand new collection from Just Not for Boys, Not Just for Boys Kit Club. Sorry, I always say that wrong. I feel so bad. Can't you tell? And I got a music kit. I am so super stoked. With my daughter being in band and all of her concerts with the choir, I was so stoked at getting a music kit. And I also have like music cut files from my Creative Cuts Club as well. So I'm stoked, you guys. And anyways, I pulled out this banner that has musical notes on it. I pulled out some other things too, but they don't actually end up on my layout. But what I did do is I pulled out this My Mind's Eye uber old brad that had 2 layers of paper behind it. And I decided to cover up my hot air balloon on the My Mind's Eye sticker and put the layers of paper and the brad in the center of it. And now I have this really fancy brad, right? And so basically what I did was I disassembled the brad. I took the prongs off the brad so I didn't have to poke it all the way through all these layers. And I glued everything down and I put a pop dot behind that brad. All right, long story short, I also took all of these stickers and I cut them off of the carrier sheet instead of, putting them on a wax piece of paper because I wanted to shift them around. I wanted to see how this was going to work because my original idea with all the banners going down didn't work with my photos. My photos were taking up too much space. So now I'm thinking I want them all going out, the edge of the page, pointing outward, pointing to the right. And so I'm trying to figure out how I want it to go. And I am forcing myself. Yes, I am forcing myself to work with what I pulled out. I don't want to go and get brand new stuff. I don't want, this is what I have. And this is what I'm going to use. And when I get like this, where I have to force myself to scrapbook, it's not any fun for me. And so I'm kind of losing it here, you guys. And I really kind of sort of don't like how this layout looks. Now that I'm watching myself put it together, I do like how it looks. I'm like, wow, that was a good idea. Oh, look, I like that. Hey, but when I was making it, it wasn't fun for me. And so when I get like this, I stop creating layouts. So I think that the next couple projects after, I don't know, Saturday, I don't know when this is going to show up. But I have a few more layouts that I've already pre-recorded. And, but I do know that after that, I'm going to start going into something else that makes me happy. I don't know exactly what it is. I love to craft and I try to create every day, but I move on. I don't just scrapbook a layout after a layout after a layout. I tend to lose my creativity when it comes to a layout. I feel like they start to look all the same. I feel like they're, I'm just throwing them together to get them done. I'm not happy with how I'm doing it, if that makes any sense. And so I take a break. I take a break and I move on. I move on to, my punched art. I move on to my embellishments. I move on to just playing with die cuts. Something simple that I have no intention for yet, but I'm still creative, if that makes any sense. So anyways, what did I do? I don't know. I took apart I cut it apart. I cut that banner apart, which has 2 parts to it. Took me a minute earlier on in the video to realize that there was a center and it punched out. But I did. It did. I put it in 2 different spots. So I'm going to have a banner up at the top like I originally expected it to. And then I'm having all these banners go off to the side, which I also like as well. And then my little subtitle, because this is an insert in between my 2-page spread, I'm just doing a little subtitle. And so these were the folks that were in the audience there to watch Cora, which makes sense. I wanted it to be a title, but I didn't want it to be like something fancy that'll take away from the actual layout, what is the intent of this, of this page. And I just wanted to capture the fact that, your dad came, he was present and he did come to all of your shows. It's not, most of her books are of, we call it my side and his side. And so most of her books are my side because, like I said, they don't just send me random pictures going, hey, put this in her photo album. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. And I bet you if I asked, they would. But yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. And so, what little pictures I did have back in the day, I will scrapbook them for her. And then she sends me pictures too, like, especially now that she's older, she sends me pictures that she wants me to scrapbook, and part of them have that side of the family in them. And so I'm very grateful that she wants that in her album. I really, really am. So anyways, I basically just put the things where I wanted them. And now I am fiddling around with this sequins. And, I have sequins in my left hand, but I am gluing and applying with my right. That was just weird. Anyways, here it is. I totally forgot to talk about the rest of the layout and what I was doing and my thought process, around what I was doing, but hey, it works. I do actually like how this turned out, but I am getting burnout on layouts. And so I want to create, a few other things before this, Baby Got Scrapped series is done and over with. Be sure to check out everyone else that played along for today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. See ya.